a bit about your journey, because whoever Googles you or whoever finds an article about you, it's a niche that you have taken, and you are a woman who's probably seen it all and still made it. So what is that one mantra that you would give it to the woman out there that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel?
The light is always with us. It is for us to open our eyes and see that, take it along with us. The only mantra that I have always told myself is that every opportunity comes to you for a reason. And it comes to you only because it has to give you an experience. It may be that you're not good at it, but then the opportunity definitely wants you to realize that you're not good at it. So don't say no before trying it.
Okay,
give it a shot. You convince yourself.
Okay, ma'am. Quickly, we'll jump into the subject that we are here to talk of, is about the cyber crimes and more so related to women. So, in your long career, what is that one? There are different type of cyber crimes that you have come across, and give me probably, like, if you can recall one instance where you felt that, oh God, this subject or this thing women must know for their privacy, for their security, for their, whatever they're doing on the digital platform.
Yes, actually, I wouldn't say there's just one instance which has given me that kind of a hint. Most of the cases that I've dealt with, I've always felt that, I wish there was somebody to tell this person at the right time, don't indulge, don't overdo, think twice. So these little tips, which I always thought, wish there was somebody to tell them at that right moment, so that, they wouldn't have reached this long. They wouldn't have come this far.
So then lots.
There are a lot of things that all of them do. Hello?
Yeah. You're audible. I can hear you. Yeah.
All of them do this not because they know or they want to get into trouble that they do all these things. They just get into it, and then, they don't see or they don't buck up that courage to themselves to say, okay, I made a mistake, I accept my mistake, let me walk back.
That's the hardest part. I guess.
That's the hardest part. You should indulge in doing the hardest parts. It's very easy for every human being to make a mistake. So when you've made a mistake, you're not alone. You're not the only one. You're not the first one. But when you buck up that courage to say that, yes, I have made a mistake, I want to rectify, probably you're the only one, or probably you lead a crowd. So that is where you can make a difference. So I want every individual to think on those lines.
Sorry to interrupt. So what are those I said sorry to interrupt, but I said what are the red flags, ma'am, while someone is on social media? Because social media is a platform for free speech. You're displaying who you are, or probably who you want to be, etc., etc. So what are the red flags? And then somehow you get into such things which ultimately pose not only danger to your reputation, but sometimes your life as well. Your financial theft and all that, I'm just leaving it, but I'm just talking about the stalking that happens, the different things that happen, the photo leaks that happen, the morphing that happens, then the blackmailing happens, spy camera, etc. All those things are there. Then there are apps today who actually listen to you while you have on your phone, and you're lying on your bed, and the phone is right there listening to what all you're talking. So what are those red flags that one should, for a person, when I'm interacting with a new person, let's say someone who I like, or someone who seems to be like a normal person through a Facebook Messenger or a chat or Instagram, this and that. So what are those red flags that I should be like, oh, this is now getting to danger?
See, the red flags are the same that you have away from the online platform also. There is a limitation to every human being. How much ever a public figure you are, you'll cross a line saying that beyond this is my private life. I don't like being exposed beyond this. So it's not like a thumb rule which is applicable to every person, every human being across. It's for every individual to decide. See, why do we have houses and doors and gates and windows and all? Certain things we open the window, certain things we open our rooms, certain things we open our houses. For certain people, we open the entire domain of us. It's for us to decide where do we draw the line. So don't do any, and then the second thing that all of us should remember is that this particular thing called internet is a public platform. All right, whether you like it or not, the internet is a public platform.
Wow. I mean, people think that I have locked my profile, so it is now my private profile.
Yes, it is not your private space. It is your public profile. It is your public space. It's like having a television open for yourself. So you put in content there, only such content there that you are okay to, that people look at it, people see that. If you're okay that people like, you like telling people what kind of clothes you wear every day, fine, put it up every day. You want people to know what breakfast you have every day, put it up every day. But then do it consciously. Don't say that, you put up, I'm having dosha in the morning every day. 7 days a week, I'm having dosha. On the 8th day, somebody comes up and says, your favorite food is dosha. Don't ask them, how do you know? There's nothing surprising. You have put it up.
True. Right.
It doesn't give anybody else any right to use the information that you have published in a wrong way. I agree. But what kind of information do you want to put up? Please take responsibility of such information.
So basically, there's nothing called as private on internet. It's an open platform which has been hosted by someone else, and they are just giving you a platform to do whatever. At the end of the day, the data is lying with them.
The data is lying with them. The data is open to people who want to use it in million ways. See, certain ways of such usage of data, it is still illegal. You can take a legal action against them. You can go for a criminal action against them. You can go for penalties against them. That's all there. But then primarily you have to decide whether you want such data to be exposed in public. Second is that if such data is exposed and if the data is misused, are you still willing to take the responsibility of such exposed data? Are you ready to fight for your rights? Are you ready to fight for your privileged privacy?
That's the bigger question.
How many of them do?
Yeah, that's the bigger
When you do that, don't do it. See, if you cannot take the risk of losing 10,000 rupees, you are not expected to carry that 10,000 rupees without security.
That's true. That's true.
That's all. So it cannot be a blanket rule which is applicable to every human being across the domain called internet and say that, okay, you shouldn't do this. No, it's very customized.
So then one thing is like normal data, like which we don't, I feel we consciously don't care what we eat, what are we doing in our normal life, where we travel, etc., etc. Because somewhere we also know that, out of 100 people that I know on Instagram, probably 50 of them I haven't really seen or met them ever. I just know them through something. So, we are okay with that. But what happens when things go a bit far, like photo morphing happens? We have seen cases where your body would be someone else's and they would put someone else's picture, like face, and, release it on porn sites and things like that. And ultimately it reaches the person who the face belongs to. And then they are at a fix thinking, what do we do? Because people are thinking it is that person. So the reputation is at risk. So is there any helpline or something that one can go and like probably lodge a complaint on without compromising or really revealing their identity?
No. See, every issue on the cyberspace is a criminal offense. A criminal offense means you have to have a complainant.
Okay.
And it is a personal, data breach, or it is a privilege breach which has happened to a person, to an individual. But if it is a child or if it is against women, they have something called something called protection of their privacy even while policing. So when you go for a complaint, the police or the home department, they respect the privacy of the children or the women, and they are not supposed to divulge the name of the victim when the victim is a child or a woman. So that is there. But beyond that, you have to go and complain. You have to take that first steps and say that, yes, I have been compromised, I have been breached, I have been violated. No, violation is just not about the physical aspect of it. Even if somebody violates you mentally, it's a violation.
Yeah.
You have to take a stand against this and say, no, this is not what I will allow in my life. I will stand up to it and fight. You have to do that fight for yourself. We have to fight for ourselves.
Women had the same courage, like how you are explaining. I wish a lot of women who are still hiding that and they are living in the fear of this breach of privacy or probably, infringement of their reputation and etc. I wish they had the courage to go out and, complain and come out in open.
No, I just tell me, my picture has been mocked, has been shown as somebody who is not me. Good or bad, it has been shown as somebody who is not me. What could be a breach of privacy more than this? What can or what should provoke you more? Don't you think your privacy is over at that time, at least, that you should stand up and say, this is not what I am. I will show you what I am.
True.
This is not me. Somebody is not expected to do this to me. So it's not about having the courage that for the question that what will people say? People are already talking ill about you for something that you are not. So let them at least talk about something that you are.
True.
Stand up for yourself and just let the people around you talk about something that you are.
True.
People are in any case talking.
Yeah.
It's absolutely how we look at it. And at least this generation, if we don't take this kind of attitude, what are we teaching our next generation? To suffer? To take nonsense again and again and again and again?
True. That's right.
No.
That's right.
I mean,
Yeah.
So we need to at least support each other in that way. I mean, I find I get these issues every day in my office. And the same thing, my NGO goes through this issue every day where people come up to us and say, okay, ma'am, you please fight this for us. We don't want to come out. I don't want my husband to know. I don't want my parents to know. I don't want my children to know. But you fight it for us. My simple question is, अगर मैं खाना खाऊं तो आपका पेट भर जाएगा? नहीं ना? I have to eat. True.
So one has to have
courage. You are hungry. Correct. So if you are hungry and if you say you are hungry, you want food, I can probably help you in getting a one-time meal, even not more than that. Beyond that, it costs me also, correct?
True.
So I will not do any charity beyond limit. If you don't even ask or say that you're hungry, how will I know? What can I do for you all?
True. Ma'am, coming to...
I cannot do anything.
Yes, that's true. Now moving to our next question, which probably everybody is talking about, is the change of WhatsApp privacy policies. Now in recent times, we saw during this drugs case, Bollywood drugs case, etc., we saw the chats of the celebrity with their managers were put out all in open on TV channels, and they're going 24/7 revealing what they were talking, where they were going, who they were dating, etc., etc. For an investigation purpose, of the authorities have got access to it, I understand. But to put it out all in open for individuals like private life, is it legal? Like, suppose it happens to someone, can some action be taken against them?
It's not legal. It's not legal to put up anybody's private life in public for a discussion at all.
Okay. So there is a legal provision.
Yes. And to the best of my information, such evidence which is put up in open can be questioned for its authenticity in the court of law too. So actually they are in a way hampering the legal environment in taking their action too.
Ma'am, you are a cyber expert, cyber crime expert. You would know a lot of things. So what about the new WhatsApp policy, like an expert advice? Elon Musk said, okay, move to Signal, leave WhatsApp. So people are in hundreds, in thousands, in lakhs, people are moving to Signal. Everywhere you go, people like, oh, my private chats will be disclosed now. It will be shared with Facebook, sold to them for the ads, etc., etc. What is your advice? Should we move to Signal? Should we believe what WhatsApp is saying on the big print ads that that privacy is in their DNA? Who do we believe? Because two worlds, two different things.
Will you be happy if, suppose your right arm is aching, and will you be happy if the ache is shifted to your left arm? Good enough?
No. I want it to go. Yeah.
No. So shifting from one platform to the other is just like shifting the pain from one area of your body to the next area. That's it. Okay. So we are not, we are actually putting out our data in a third party's domain for them to use it or not use it. It is their discretion, first thing. Second thing is that any app you download, you're giving them a lot of permissions to access. Right at the moment when you download the app and install the app, you're giving them all the permissions. Now the comparison between WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram and all now is that if WhatsApp is taking 80% of your data or has disclosed that they will use 80% of their data in a stipulated manner, Signal or Telegram says we are using only 40% and the other says we are using only 20% as on today.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no guarantee that they will not use more.
Yeah.
As on today. Yes, as on today. Because see, they are all private companies.
True.
Government policies are changing from time to time. Private companies can't change their policies, and we are actually agreeing to all the terms and conditions when we download the app, and one of the terms and conditions that they stipulate is that they are free to change their policies and with or without intimation. Oh, just because WhatsApp decided just because WhatsApp decided to tell you that we are doing this from tomorrow onwards, or else you cannot be on our domain. It's just one thing is that this brought out a spark or a thought process in every Indian that, you know, what is privacy? A question called what is privacy is raised now after this. So I'm very thankful to WhatsApp actually for that.
Yeah, but should we be worried, or should we be like, you know, understand this, that look, when I'm deciding to use a third party app, I would be exposed to, sometimes my location will be exposed, sometimes my photos, I mean, depending upon what all permission the app is asking, and nobody reads the privacy document, that one pager that comes before the app, nobody reads it, at least not in my knowledge. They don't even if they read it, we don't understand it. So for a common man, it's like a going from one trap to another. For now, being safe, that's it.
Absolutely. It's just going from one space to another, and it is true that we have actually handed over all our data to the multiple and the umpteen number of apps that we have downloaded on our phone.
So are you not switching? Are you switching or not switching from WhatsApp?
I'm not switching.
Okay, you are not switching.
No, I'm not switching.
Okay.
I'm not going to get anything more than what they've already done.
That is good. That is
they
good.
knew Sujata has scheduled a meeting with me at so and so time. They knew that last week when Ms. Sujata decided to schedule the meeting with me, and then now they know that the meeting is happening. That's it.
Okay. Okay, all right. So at least you are an informed user. You know that, okay, you know about, this is what you will know about me. That's all. Rest I'll control.
That is something which I've been finding it very difficult to tell my people over here, or to people who ask me that, see, you have to be informed about whatever is happening. But now, since this particular notification came out in WhatsApp and people started, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
No problem.
People started thinking about it. It gave it gives some kind of a relief to me that, you know, they are actually thinking about the concept called privacy.
So probably a repetitive question, but I think it's important that people should know. So recently, Government of India banned some Chinese apps, saying that these were the spy apps and they were collecting information, sometimes crucial data also, and sometimes about the public life and things like that. And they banned it. Now, as a user, I don't know because country of origin is not mentioned in the Play Store or App Store. So I just downloaded because it's someone told me it's a good app. I just go download it. Now, is there a certification for any apps that's safe to download or something like that? Or, you know, how do one know that this is a spy app and this is not?
There's no way, there's no certification.
So it's all in the God's hand.
Yeah, it's all up to you to learn about the app, to know what the app is used for, and then download the app and to understand whether you actually need that app or not.
Okay.
And then download.
One important question, and I think lot of like I'm part of a lot of groups, biggest groups of India as well, and their discussion always goes on about the privacy and security of the small children. You know, the children while they're growing up. So and then mothers will be very worried that, oh, you know, this particular person is going to, I mean, my children is going to this school or that school, and how good it is in terms of security, in wake of the recent crimes which has happened for the children as well. And but in spite of that, I would see their DPs having everything about their children. You know, what they eat, where they play, what the nanny is doing, etc., etc., which kindergarten they go to, where they mingle. Everything is on now. It is not even in Instagram or Facebook. It's come to WhatsApp status. So you have 2024 WhatsApp status photos where they are explaining every detail about their child. Now, I want from an expert like you a word for those mothers. Like, is it really safe to put it all this just to show that probably you're doing well?
No, it is absolutely not safe, because you're disseminating information about your children to people who are following you or who want to know the details of your children. And every small detail adds on to conveniencing those people to actually harm your child also. Most of the child abduction cases that we have dealt with, their leads have been given away by their own parents on the social media or their schools.
Okay. So it is not safe to put the pictures of the, but why do you think, what is the mentality behind these things that people know it's not safe, but still they do it? People know talking to stranger is not good, but still they do it. So why there is so much low awareness about cyber crimes? Like, why is it not understood at all, I would say?
Have you seen that advertisement on the cigarette packet?
Yeah, okay. Cigarette smoking is injurious to health, and still you buy it and you smoke.
Consumption of alcohol is injurious to health, which may cause cancer to you. You may die. Your family may be estranged. Everything. Every time you go and sit in the theater, the first thing that you see is
that tobacco. Yeah.
Yes. Imagine in between the movie, people go out and smoke. Why do they do it? They get a high of it. This particular platform called Digital Space has an addiction which gives a high.
So do you think it is more like a pandemic which is not being spoken of? Like, some people surf throughout the night. They're all awake. All they do is to stick to their phones.
I don't know whether you can name it as a pandemic, but definitely we are going to deal with a generation which is already rewired or wrongly wired from the time they're born.
Okay, all right. So so as this is not probably part of our questions, but I'm just asking as a mother. I have a 1.5-year-old kid, and what do I do to not make him a mobile zombie or a digital zombie? Because that's what I feel they are.
Follow the 3+3+3+3 rule. Till 3, no digital gadget at all.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
not even when the child is eating. No way. Till 3, no digital screen time. 3 to 6, digital screen time for 15 minutes, wherein there is some kind of a audio-video interaction.
Okay.
Again, no games.
Okay.
6 to 9, you give them learning space with intervals after 15 minutes and not more than 2 intervals, which means 3 15-minute time in a day.
Okay. Okay.
9 to 12, give them internet time, play time, and gadget browsing time with 4 intervals.
Okay.
But again, interval after 15 minutes.
Yes.
And plus 13, they have not given a direction, because most of the countries, human beings plus 13, 14 are not considered as children.
Okay. Okay. All right. But I mean, I see all the children have a fake account. They all have Facebook account and they just put the age something else. So that happens all the time. I don't know how to stop it. In spite of the parents' best effort, I know children who are there on Facebook, Instagram, and who are not even 18. They are much below 18. That's the probably the.
I don't think there is enough try from the parent side also for this. I'm saying not enough. I'm not generalizing the entire crowd, but definitely from at least a good percentage of parents, there isn't enough pressure or enough scrutiny these days on what the children are doing on their internet or on their gadgets. Not enough. We should be more proactive. As a parent, we should be more proactive.
Ma'am, like there were times when there was no polio awareness. Then there were times where there was no corona awareness. So government took measures to spread awareness about these things. Now with cybercrime is one space that it's still not understood by a large chunk of people. Sometimes people don't even consider it that it is a crime which can have legal implications or judicial implications as well. They think, acha, phone pe kiya hoga, it's okay. I mean, abhi kya kar sakte? He did not come and hit you physically. He just assaulted you, or he just gave you a rape threat. He just send you some obscene pictures. Isme kya hai? It's okay, just move on, block the person and move on. And then nobody understands what a woman goes through when certain things happen. It's as good as blackmailing or probably sexual harassment, because you are always living in fear that this person may be stalking me all the time. So is government doing anything to spread the awareness, or is there anything that your NGO also is doing so that people understand that this is something that we must pay attention to and be cautious about?
See, it is just not that women go through this kind of a torture. I have a lot of issues where men or boys go through similar issues as well. And they're almost equal in number if you look at it. ज़्यादातर लोग बच्चों के बारे में या औरतों के बारे में तो बात करते हैं, लेकिन शायद the opposite gender doesn't get enough justice is what I felt always.
Okay.
बात तो एक ही दोनों तरफ से एक ही है, and the numbers are also the same actually. So awareness, government क्या कर रही है उसके बारे में authoritatively I cannot speak about it, but financial frauds तो banks and financial institutions वो लोग कुछ awareness करने की कोशिश तो कर रहे हैं कि SMS भेजो, कुछ calls करो, they are trying to educate their customers also, लेकिन on the social aspect of it, on the human aspect of it क्या कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में authoritatively तो I cannot talk about it. But I would say my NGO, we have always devised policies, or we have devised course material for schools itself, where they can subscribe to our material, and the children from as young as 4th standard can learn it up like a curriculum till they are 12.
That is wonderful.
12 till they are 12. So, जो भी school हमसे join hands and they want to work काम करना चाहते हो तो contact कर सकते हैं. We have a syllabus, we have a course material etc. जो हम बेच देते हैं वहाँ पे, and we can for certain schools who subscribe in such a way where they want our counselors to go and take classes, वो भी हम कर रहे हैं हमारी से. But then वो सब तो पेमेंट के हिसाब से आता है, because even we have to pay the salaries to those staff and all that. लेकिन वो सब हम डिवाइस करके रखे, and there are certain schools who are subscribing to us across India actually. Basically from Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, ज्यादातर वहीं से आ रहा है मेरे लिए inquiries, but हम कर रहे हैं, जो भी हमसे बनता है वो कर रहे हैं. But unfortunately again what I feel is that अगर हम एक टिप डाल देते हैं सोशल मीडिया पे कि ये मत करो साइबर स्पेस पे या ये करो बोल के, तो nobody wants to spread that. There are no likes to it. उसके बदले में अगर मैं अपनी एक फोटो डाल दूं तो hundreds and thousands of likes just come in. You know, that's the idea or the mentality we have. All of us need to change that कि हम यहाँ पे सोशल मीडिया पे जो क्यों बैठे हैं, इसलिए बैठे हैं कि हम कुछ अच्छा कर सके, कुछ अच्छी बातें स्प्रेड कर सके. See, ये जरूरी नहीं है कि to understand what I've eaten in the morning, whether I have enough clothes to wear or not. No, that is not the concern. इन जनरल सोसाइटी के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं वो पहले पूछ के सोशल मीडिया अगर हम ओपन करें रोज, तो आई थिंक द प्रॉब्लम विल बी सॉल्व largely.
So is this course also available on Amazon? Can someone just buy it?
No. It's not available on Amazon.
Have you not?
We don't have. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying that. Have you not thought of putting it on for the larger public so that everyone should be aware about it?
No, हम जो कह रहे हैं, we are tying up with the local organizations in every state so that they can take it up. क्योंकि ऐसा होता है कि I can speak only few languages. I speak Malayalam, English. I can manage Hindi without much of a damage. I can manage Telugu and Tamil also without much of a damage. But then, it's not enough for even to talk across the country like India. So what we are looking at is tying up with certain organizations who can translate our content, who can put it up, and who can do the publicity in the local area. So SAP, we have tied up with organizations in Andhra, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala. Wow. We don't have organizations as in other states. We are open to it. Content तो हमारे पास है ही. So if they are ready to translate the content and put it up and do the publicity and spread the word in their state and take up admissions, we are open to it. Certificates भी हम भेज रहे हैं कि बच्चों को कुछ अच्छा लगे. It's just not for बच्चे alone, for the parents or teachers भी हैं. We have certain tie-ups, लेकिन open Amazon में we have not thought about putting it up. I have not thought about it.
Please think about it. I think as people who do not have, like, either children are very small or we are out of the touch for the school, college, etc. But I think everybody, this is like knowing your basic rights is as good as knowing the cyber rights and what happens in cyberspace, because literally we are living two lives. One is that the person, the real person, and the other person is the online person. So we have actually started living 24/7. I mean, we wish our anniversaries, like not me, but I'm just saying, like everybody who we know, our anniversary to the spouse who's sitting next to you on Facebook, so that other people know. So we must know the risks associated with it. And I think if you think about it, as it is available to the larger masses, to just buy a copy and read what are the basic things that one needs to know, it'll be great. That will be a small suggestion if I can just give it to you.
No, these are all again online videos and textbooks, textbook PDF content that we give across, and then how you can do a self-evaluation and take a certificate. All these patterns we have done. And एक और बात है कि I believe something should happen on a personal level. They should have that comfort कि हम कुछ सीख रहे हैं, हम कुछ जान रहे हैं. तो इसलिए we have to, like, register for a course kind of a thing.
Anyway, I mean, I would leave it to you.
Just download.
Yeah, I will leave it to you. You know the best. But I would still request if you could, because I see absolutely no information. We have just misinformations. Like if you see the WhatsApp thing, everybody is talking something and everybody's become an expert. but the common public don't know how their privacy is being, invaded. So that's a
So you can
example.
anybody who wants to do that as a combined certification or something like that. I'll be very happy to associate. Please give them the number and the contact details. We'll work it out.
I will definitely like to spread this in the Hindi heartland where my reach is maximum now. And I also know some of the biggest school people, the people who are behind one of the biggest school brands in Delhi. So I would definitely put in a word, because I think this is something like how we are crying for different languages to be learned by children today. I think we should definitely learn cybercrime and what it is, why is it important, very, very important. So thank you so much. It was such a lovely conversation with you. And by the way, you said you can manage in Hindi. I think you speak impeccable Hindi. You were just perfect. So 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 it was it was lovely to have you. And whenever if I am stuck or someone else is stuck, we are going to come back to you for your expert advice, and I'll try and put this word to as many people as possible, because I think it is very important to understand this subject. Thank you so much.